To the drive-thru. I'm your host Tony T. As we broadcast live here on Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place YouTube channel throughout social media. We will get you out of here before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games, and that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Deliver live free picks for the games in prime time. And deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. So let's meet the cappers, and then we're going to get right to the picks because we don't mess around here on the drive-thru. So let's say hello to Kevin. Kevin, what's going on?
Tony, it's a fabulous weekend for Memorial Day. I know a lot of people on the East Coast were expecting a lot of rain, but no rain. My whole family's taking off to the beach. It's kind of like a vacation for me when they all leave. So I'm excited for this weekend. Get some stuff done around the yard and fire up the old grill.
Absolutely. A great weekend indeed. Yeah, I think you got the rain already this week. That was the end of it. Now, let's say to Rod. Rod, what's happening?
Not too much. Definitely mad at the gopher hole that twisted my ankle this morning. So other than that, doing pretty good. Man, you're walking the dogs, and that's the chance you take working in the field. Out here in my neck of the woods, out in the country, there's those gopher holes this time of year pop up out of nowhere because they are everywhere. I don't even think you can drive down the road without seeing one. Or I don't know why they stand there. They just stand there like this in the middle of the road. I don't know. I don't get it. But happy Memorial Weekend to everybody, and let's get us some winners here this week.
Yes, absolutely. Let's say Javon. Javon, what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? I'm wondering how the the Knickerbockers are gonna respond tonight. You know, that's all I'm worried. That's all I'm concerned about. I want to see how they come out. You know, if they can finish off a game and not blow a 14-point lead with under 3 minutes left. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. It's NBA basketball.
I think the crowd kind of jinxed them because they're in the final 50 seconds. They were getting that, like applause, like they won the game. I don't know if you noticed that, but that caught I back then watched the replays. Yeah, it was 51 seconds left, and the crowd was cheering like they had already won the game when they were just kind of milking clock there. Which I said, hey, you jinxed the team there. Don't give that congratulatory applause until this horn sounds there. But it should be interesting. So we'll get to the games, guys. Let's get to it here, right? It's the game here tonight. It is a game. We got to get this one up. What do we do here? We're actually on the 4 screen today. That's right. We're on the 4 screen today. All right, here we go. Pacers and the Knicks. Here we see this line sitting at Knicks laying 6. The total here 224. This game did open up 6.5. So there has been some play here on the Pacers. The total opened up at 224. So it's around the same there, but a little bit there on the Pacers side after an opener of 6.5. Their injury report looks clean, so let's get this one underway here with Javon.
Yeah, and how I believe that the Knicks are gonna respond. They're gonna respond well to, that collapse. They're gonna want to get on the right foot, and having a lead at the end of one, I think that'll start things out for them in the right way. Now, last game, they had a little bit of a deficit. They had a little bit of a lead, and then at the end of one, lo and behold, the Pacers was right there. So it was a 2-point ball game. So you never know with how these games play out from a quarter to quarter basis, and that's why I really only like to touch the first quarter in these games because you can always end game. Let's say if the Knicks don't get it done in the first quarter, you could jump right on them on the second quarter. Or if the first half things ain't going one team's way, you could jump on that team coming out of halftime, to put in work. But there's only certain teams that you can't do that with. Teams like OKC, so on and so forth. Years past, Golden State, teams like that. But I say that to say that the Knicks are gonna want to show something for themselves, for their fans, and they have advantages all up and down the court on offense. They can get in the lane. The Knicks were getting ran off the 3-point line, specifically Jalen Brunson last game. I think that continues. So if he's gonna score from the charity stripe, and he's gonna score from from within the arc. So first quarter Knicks, no doubt I'll put my money there. Other than that, I don't know what the hell's going to go on with
From
these
Javon.
bums.
Next time we move on over to Rod.
And for me here, this one, I'm going to look at the first half of this game. I'm going to say that the Knicks want to slow the pace of this game. They don't want to be running and gunning with the Pacers. They just don't have the legs to keep up with this Pacers squad running and gunning here in this one. And what we've seen is just both these squads, slower starters, lower scoring first halves. We've seen the Pacers out on the road. They're 26-16 to the under in that first half. And then following one of those, the upset as an underdog on the road, 2-0 to the under as a road underdog in that first half as well. And then you look at what the Knicks do off of an upset loss as the favorite. Well, 15-4 in that spot when they're trying to revenge that loss in that first half. So I think what the Knicks do is they use up as much clock as they can before they release their shot. And that's going to give us an under here in this first half. I see it's come down a little bit. Was that 112? I see 108.5 here. Give me the under 108.5 first half here. Pacers and Knicks.
Yeah, from Rod. Next up, we move right on over to Kevin.
Yeah, Tony, after the Pacers comeback win, that +6 looks really juicy. I'm not going to lie. I thought the Cavaliers would be in this spot. I was shocked that the Pacers did what they did to the Cavaliers. I thought they were the best team in the East. And it proved that the Pacers are the best team in the East, and it's the benches. I mean, New York, they got rid of one of their Villanova guys last year. Now he's on the Timberwolves, and they got two of them are on the Timberwolves now, and they brought in Towns. Towns, to me, I think he fades away in these kind of spots, could put up big numbers, but the defense, I'm not seeing it. I would have to lean towards the Pacers. I know the odds, the books want us on the Pacers. They're making it very juicy for us. I saw that total go down. They want us on that over as well. But if I'm betting this game, it's all going to be on Mikal Bridges over 20.5 points and assists. He has to have a big game for the Knicks to be competitive because, like Rod said, they run out of steam if you're going to run with the Pacers, and the Pacers are the third tempo team in the National League. I think only the Grizzlies and the Thunder are above them, and we see how the Thunder can run up some scores in a hurry. This Pacers bench is too good here, so I think it's up to Bridges to come up strong. Points and assists over 20.5 -105.
Yeah, from Kevin. Yeah, I'll tell you what I think about these here. You speak about that Cleveland series. Indiana won all 3 road playoff games in that series. Remember, they're down 0-1. They took game 1, win game 2. I think same thing happens here. I like Indiana here to take I'll take them here on the points here, taking the 6 here. Again, what did the Pacers do? It's that 3-point shot that kind of eliminates home court advantage in the postseason. Again, we saw Halliburton in a last-second situation. Instead of drive to the hole, try to get the contact. Because in playoffs, especially against New York, you're not going to get the call. So why are you going to go to the hole and shoot? Step back and make the 3 because you'll have a clear view at the basket. You won't have any contact. And then, of course, the situation with the refs, they'll just look the other way. Oh, we didn't see it. It's New York's home court. I'm going to tell you, Carlisle's a smart coach, man. I really give him a lot of pressure. Now, we talk about pace. And let me talk about the pace. Let me tell you how Indiana will quicken the pace. Ball pressure. Put pressure on the ball, and you'll force the Knicks to move faster. That's what you do. And they have the speed, agility, and endurance to put pressure on that basketball. And that will force the Knicks into turnovers or have to move the basketball around the court. And that's how you quicken the pace, and that's how Indiana does it. So I know those guys. Oh, we're gonna slow it down. Good luck, because they've got their guards are long. They got length, and they can force steals, force turnovers. And if you're going to try to play that slow down game with them, guess what? They're going to force you into mistakes because Indiana knows how to play teams like this, and they knocked them out last year. So there's another thing there. So yeah, I do like the pace. I do like the coach and the road shooting. Look at this: 51% from the field, 42% from 3. Oh, there's going to be regression. Well, there hasn't been regression in 5 straight road playoff games, right? So I'm just going to have to look here at the Pacers in this one. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru as we'll turn our attention over to Major League Baseball. Just want to catch up on some of the changes here in case you happen to miss some of the pitching changes here. I know yesterday afternoon it looked like Dollander was going to go for Colorado, but that has been changed. Tanner Gordon that there's another gap. They just, Tanner Gordon is going to get a start. I guess Dollander needs to get refueled. So that's the change there. Tanner Gordon is going to get the start here. Also, Uncle Charlie. No, we're going to sit you down, Uncle Charlie. Trevor Rogers gets a start in Game 2 for Baltimore. There, so that has been a change there in the pitching. We'll see Trevor Rogers. That's a name from the past. He was back with Miami. They said he was called up from AAA. And that's what you can do. You get a roster spot when you play these doubleheaders. So Trevor Rogers was called up from AAA to be the 27th man in this game. And they said he will probably start the game. Could also be a bulk reliever. So they're kind of mixing it around here. We remember Trevor Rogers in his time with the Miami Marlins. He went over to Baltimore and he kind of pitched himself into a AAA because he had that one good year in 2021 and just was turned into a gas can. So Trevor Rogers looks to be the starter or bulk reliever for Baltimore in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Also, let's see, we gave you that information. There's another change here. I want to make note here for the Athletics here. They're going to switch Jacob Lopez today. Jeffrey Springs go tomorrow. So Springs was scheduled to go tonight for Athletics. He moves to tomorrow. Jacob Lopez goes today. So that's your other change here in the pitching for today's afternoon, for this evening's contest. So I just want to make sure that's all we've got. And that's all we've got here. Of course, Slate Ciccone going for Cleveland, as everybody knew that was happening there. Eric Lauer going for the Blue Jays as well. So those are all your pitching updates here for tonight. So let's get to the games here as we look at the games here from this block and the ones that we will cover here. Let me reverse it a little bit here. Boop, boop, boop. Here we go. We're going to reverse it. Get to the games here. We know that Game 1 here went to the Red Sox with that huge inning there. 19-5 is your final. So let's get the 5 ready to roll here. Cubs and Reds. We see the Cubs here $1.14, total 8.5. Brewers and Pirates. Pirates $1.20, total of 7. Giants and Nationals, Nasty Nats, $1.06, total 7.5. Blue Jays and Rays, the Rays $1.35, total 8.5. We close this block with the Mets and Dodgers. Mets $1.15, total 8.5. Get the block underway here with Javon.
Yeah, see Hunter Green's back, after a short stint on the IL. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that the the Reds can't hit, lefties worth a damn. I would be all over the Cincinnati Reds, but Matt Boyd's on the other side, and I'm just gonna take the under in this one. With these two pitches, should be a lower scoring game. First 5 should be a game. I mean, should be a game where the scoreboard's just littered with zeros. Can't really rely on these bullpens. So I think I'll narrow it down the first 5 under for this one. Probably looking at a 4.5. Nice juice on it.
All right, there we go with Javon. Next up, we move right on over to Rob.
Yeah, for me in this time spot of games, I'm going to take the Blue Jays here, fresh off their sweep of the Padres at a nice plus price. And Lauer on the mound, he'll go about 3 innings, and then I'll throw it to the Blue Jays bullpen after that one. But hey, fresh off the sweep of the Padres. Hey, Rays fresh off winning the series versus the Astros. Should be a good one here. We've already seen the Rays win earlier in Toronto, so why not pay it right back? Come into Tampa and win this series. So that kicks off here by grabbing the win. I'll take the Blue Jays in that matchup. And then the other one I'm looking at is I'm going to take the under between the Brewers and Pittsburgh. I know it's a 7 on Skeens Day. Peralta can go deep for the Brewers there in that one. Skeens can go at least 6. And then these offenses haven't been the greatest, that's for sure. And it's 7. Bookmakers telling you all you need to know. It's going to be like a hockey game. First to 3 wins that one. Give me the under 7. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh can't score 3. They usually get 2 and win. 2-1, 1-0. That's how they win. That's how they win games. On over to Kevin.
Yeah, you said it right there, Tony. They scored 2-1 and win. I think they scored 2-1 here, and they don't win. I think Milwaukee gets the last night. They got the 8 runs. I think they can build off of that momentum. And, Skeens will get you 6 innings tonight probably, and then that bullpen's going to come in, and then Milwaukee should take care of business in the after So probably maybe take the Pittsburgh on the first 5 innings, and then take the Brewers to win the game. And then the other one I was looking at, I do like the Cincinnati Reds with Green on the mound, just that line movement and stuff. Chicago with that record coming in at only minus 115. I do have Boyd in fantasy, but he is known to give a couple up, and Cincinnati got the torpedo bats going, so I'm going to ride Cincinnati there. And I would probably parlay that with Tampa Bay. I think Tampa Bay at home with Rasmussen on the mound is just just that AL East matchup there. I think you get plus money if you parlay those two together.
Yeah, from Kevin, tell you what I think about these games here. I like the Cubs here in this spot. Reds only hitting 196 against lefties. I didn't like the way they looked at the end of that Pittsburgh series, scoring what 1 run in those 2 games. That wasn't good there. Chicago at this price point, 8-3 on the road, with line between even money and minus 150 this season. So I'll look at Chicago. Do agree with the under in Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. You look at Milwaukee here, 10-2 the under on the road when they're lined at this coin flip price of plus 125 to minus 125. Milwaukee not hitting the ball very well over the past 6 games, a $1.98. The Pirates at 202. Look under in that one. I will take the nasty Nats here in this one. San Francisco, a team that's 2-6 on the road against left-handed starters, losing 4 units against these wicket-eating teams here. Washington 5-3 at home, facing teams that bat 255 or lower this season, returning 4.5 units. I like Washington Nationals in that one. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through as we'll continue on with the next series of games here for tonight's action. Next up, we will give you here Guardians and Tigers. The Tigers $7, total 8.5. Orioles and White Sox in Game 2. We gave you the pitching change there. Red Sox $25, total 9.5. Padres and Braves, Acuna back. Braves $80 here now, total of 8. Rangers and White Sox. This has a sleep-inducing feel to it for this series. Rangers $81, total of 8. And we close out with Royals and Twins. This one could be as well. Twins $84, total 7.5. We get this one underway here with Javon.
I'm on the Braves. Minus 1.5. Give me that good old. Well, do we get the plus money with 1.5? Should be close.
Let's see what it is now.
Yeah, we get the plus money. Okay. So Chris Sale's on the mound. Nick Pivetta. I think Nick Pivetta on the road, he can be had. Just given the fact that Atlanta, their bats are heating up. They're 1 game under 500. They would like to be back at 500. San Diego hasn't been able to be trusted. As of late, losers of 3 out of the last 4. Not losers of 3 out of the last 4. Losers of their last 6. so the bats are cold. Their general form is ice cold. So I think that keeps it going against a top line pitcher like Chris Sale. And like I said, just don't like what I've seen out of Nick Pivetta as of late. Even though last game he did pitch 6 innings of 1-run ball. Prior to that he gave up 6 runs, all of them earned. So he bounced back. I think he'll regress in this one.
There from Javon, breaking news here. Ben Lively to have Tommy John surgery, so the Guardians will be without, again, a starter in the rotation. They've been hit the last few seasons here with it, and also missing a guy as well. So Lively out for the year, looks like, here for the Cleveland Guardians. Next up, we move right on over to Rod.
Yeah, I'm going to look at that same game, but I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take the Padres. I guess you call this the revenge series because the Padres already swept the Braves earlier this season. Pivetta went 7 in that game and mowed them down. Looked real good. Padres came away with a 5-0 win. I know the Padres haven't looked the greatest over their last few, but nothing like to take it on the Braves. I just think that price is too overblown for Sale. I don't want to lay that kind of price with Sale. And I don't want to chase a run line with it either. I'm going to take the big plus price shot here with the Padres to wake up off that sweep of the Blue Jays here in this one. They've actually played well against the National League East. I believe they've got a nice little winning streak rolling. I believe it's 7 straight versus the NL East does these Padres. and that was including the sweep earlier of the Braves. So I'll take a shot there with the Padres. That one, and then another one I'm looking at in this time block of games is Tony alluded to it, Snooze Fest. And take the under there between Texas and the White Sox. Both those teams not scoring a whole lot of runs. White Sox 6-3-1 to the under in their last 10, and Texas is 8-2 to the under in the last 10. Talk about first to three wins that one. Well, it could be 2-1. Give me the under 8 there, Texas and the White Sox.
Here from Rod. Next up, we move on over to Kevin.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Minnesota game, Kansas City. Minnesota 8-2 their last 10, still at home. I know Kansas City coming in off the San Fran had the day off, but they still had to travel. But what I'm looking at is taking it on the run line. I'm going to lay the 1.5. I think we're going to have the full batting lineup for the Twins for once. We're going to have Carlos Carrero back. I'm going to take him for to go over for an RBI plus 155. I know he got banged up and was out, but we're going to have him, Lewis, Lee. They're going to have all their big bats. So I think Minnesota is going to put on a show. I might even take a little bit on the over 7.5. I know we got two solid pitchers on the mound, but it seems like Minnesota puts up runs after a day off. So give me the Twins laying the run line and then Carlos Carrero for the RBI.
There we go from Kevin. Tell you what I like about this one. I like over game 2 here at Boston and Baltimore. Giolito's on the mound here for the Boston here, and of course Trevor Rogers is going. He's a minor league guy that just got called up for the doubleheader, bulk innings. But then you got to deal with the Baltimore bullpen after that, and maybe Uncle Charlie may be a bulk guy. We don't know everything. These game 2s, things are up in the air, right? Even the managers don't know what they're going to do. Sometimes it's a decision made here during in-game decisions a lot of time with these managers in these game 2s. Also take Texas on the run line. Like Molly, I think Molly can shut down this White Sox team. White Sox 3-15 to the run line against good starting pitching from the AL with an ERA of 2.9 or lower the past 1+ seasons. So the way to go against the White Sox on the run line is when they face these elite starting pitching. And you get a decent price here, so I'll take Texas run line in this one. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through as we look to close out baseball with these final 5 games here on the schedule. Next up, we've got Mariners and Astros. Astros is $1.11, total 8.5. D-backs and Cardinals. The D-backs now $1.06. Totals come down. We saw 8.5 earlier, now down to 8 in this one. Yankees and Rockies. We've seen the Yankees 277. Totals come down from 12 to 11.5 here. Next up, Marlins and Angels. Angels $1.56. Total sits here at 8.5. Look at that run line, plus 134 there with that's a wider range there on that Angel run line there, 134. Phillies and Athletics. We let you know about that pitching change for Athletics. Phillies here on the road, $1.95. Total 9.5 there in the shelter. We get it started here with Javon.
Are we on? Did we do Arizona St. Louis last slot or
no? It's on this one. It's on this one.
Yeah. So I'm on St. Louis. Zach Gallen. I'm fading him every chance I get, especially on the road. He's just not getting it done. He's supposed to be their ace. He hasn't been their ace. After winning all those games, St. Louis on the mini slide, only a 2-game losing streak. I think they bounced back. Mike McCullough on the mound. And I think they should get to Gallen or that Diamondbacks bullpen. So it'll be the home team for me, at a dog price, even though it's at, minus 105 right now. I will be on the Angels on the run line. Just keep it going on a 7-game winning streak. Facing the lowly Marlins with Alcantara on the mound, who hasn't been able to get right. Their bats are just hot. Just can't deny that. So they're at home. Get some more home cooking. If they're down, late in the later innings, you have no choice but to trust them in the late innings and score some runs. That's what they've been doing, dropping big numbers on opponents. So I can only play them to get that 8 straight win by margin. And just for shits and giggles, I'm on the Colorado Rockies. I know they're a historically bad team, but it'll be just like the Yankees to be, laying $3 in the game and give it up. $3 on the road. That's, Clark Smith on the mound. I'll take my chances with Tanner Gordon. Maybe first five and don't worry about the bullpen because there's been a couple games as of late where they've actually been in these games. Specifically, I'm thinking about a game against the Phillies, and they, the one last yesterday they didn't score. In the first game of the series, they gave up, some runs at the end to mess up a run line. So I'll back them. I'll back them both, whether it's run line, plus 1.5, or money line. That'd be just like a baseball move, a Tanner Gordon coming in and shut down the Yanks, because the Yanks are all or nothing team as it is with their lineup anyway. So I'll take a shot.
And no porch there in Colorado. A little longer. Ellie's there. Next up, Rod.
Right, and I was on the Rockies yesterday, plus the 1.5. I was trying to get the big plus price. I should have taken the +3 that they were offering in that one. I think you can get the 2.5 here. It's still a plus price too on the Rockies in this matchup here tonight. But 11.5 runs. What I see from the Rockies was them struggling to get runs. They had, I don't know how many times they had a guy on third. They just couldn't bat him in. And it was just like, man, I think they left 15 guys on base yesterday. And it was like, man, they could have easily won that game over the Phillies. And they just didn't get those guys in. So it was, I've seen 12s in this game, but it's now down to 11.5. I'll take the under in this one, in that one. And then the Angels are on a nice little winning streak, though, but that was as a dog. I think all 7 of those were as a dog, and now they're back home here as a favorite. So what I noticed was the Angels as a favorite covering run line. I think they failed to cover the run line as a favorite in 12 straight games. So that's the scary part for me there. I like the over. As you alluded to, runs have come early and often and even late in the Angels games. So give me the over in that one there between the Marlins and the Angels. I think we see plenty of runs in that one to get us over the low total here. I think we can get to 10 plus. Take the over in that one.
Yeah, from Rod. All right, next up we move right on over to Kevin.
Yeah, I think the Rockies bats might come alive in this action. I'm going to take Bretton Doyle to have a good home run for us here. Get a lot of plus money on that one. But what I'm looking at, I agree with Javon on that Cardinals game. I like them over Arizona a lot. You got Arizona, who just went in a series with the Dodgers, the NL West, a series they really needed. They went 1-2, and that last game, I mean, they went all in with Burns and May, and I was shocked that May won that game, but he did. Now they had to travel, and now they face the Cardinals. I think Cardinals take game 1. They have a really good home record, so give me the Cardinals.
There from Kevin. Tell you what I think about these games here. I like Houston here against the Mariners. Astros against these AL teams with an on-base percentage of .330 or lower this season. At home, they're 10-3 now, returning 5 units. Seattle over the past 6 games hitting .213. Astros at home hitting .266. Their bullpen an ERA of 2.11 in their home ballpark. I'm not a big fan of Emerson Hancock here for Seattle. I like Houston in this spot. We've talked about Zach Gallen, no longer an ace. He's pitching like a deuce. So I like the over in that one here between Arizona and St. Louis, because I'm not a big fan of Michaelis either, although he's had some good stretches here. But, man, I just sometimes Michaelis at home and ERA near 5. You look at Arizona here, the Cardinals have gone over in 6 of their past 9 at home, so I like the over in that one. We know the Cards can hit the ball at home. 287 batting average in their home ballpark, and Arizona hitting 267 over the past 6 games with 9 homers. They did hit the ball pretty well in that Dodgers series. They got some home runs, but their bullpen ERA over 6 in that spot. So I'll look at the over in that one. Let's see here. I'm going to look here at these late games. Yeah, that's what I like there in that late slot. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through as we turn our attention to the ice right now. NHL playoffs continue here, and we've got Oilers and Stars in Game 2. The Stars down to $1.11. We said the total 6.5. We get the block underway here with Rod.
Yeah, look at this game here tonight. It was that game 1. Well, it was a battle of the Oilers whooped them in the first 40 minutes of that hockey game. Dominated the 5-on-5 play. just got themselves in trouble with penalties. They ended that second period on the man advantage. It pushed over into that third, and they just continued to make some silly mistakes on the power play. Just you can't do that here in the playoffs. Given this Dallas squad that has plenty of offensive power now to snipe out 3 goals in that 6 minutes like they did to start that third period. You do that as the Oilers, and it's lights out. Leon Draisaitl after that game he even called out his penalty kill and said, "Hey, you got to kill at least one for us, guys. Come on." He goes, "I can't be on the ice all the time," he said in the interview after that game once. So I think the Oilers are going to be looking for the split. Come out of here, shot out of the cannon. So we seen it was 3-1 heading into that period. If they don't take a whole pile of penalties, we don't see as much scoring in that third as what we would have as we see in that game one. So I'm going to take the under here, under the 6.5. I think we got ourselves a low-scoring one, which is what we've seen in the first 40 minutes until the Oilers just got themselves in trouble, and then snowball just kept on rolling. Mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. They bounce back after that. Not going to have that same kind of mistake tonight. Low-scoring battle, first of 3 wins. Give you the under 6.5.
Here from Rod on over to Kevin.
I think Rod summed it all up. I was going to take that under 2, and it's all 6.5. That's just way too much. Is it going to be Skinner back in goal?
Yes.
All right. I trust him tonight. Give the under.
There we go from Kevin. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru to turn our attention to the W. Big schedule tonight from the W as we got 4 games on the board, so let's get to it here. Action from the WNBA. We got tonight Sun and the Lynx. These lines are huge, incredible here. Lynx 16-point favorites. These games on Ion here. You can find them on DirecTV. Total 156. Mystics and Aces. Here's another one. My goodness, it's like the NBA. We got these lines again. Aces. We got tanking going on this early. Aces 15-point favorites. Total sits here at 165.5. Then we scale back here. Went too far on that one here. Let me reel back a little bit here. Mercury and the Storm. The Storm at home laying 6, total 157. Look at this one. The Valkyries, an expansion team. Okay, we'll let them slide there. Sparks at home, the rematch. Of course, Sparks got them on the road. Now Valkyries in their first road game. The Sparks here laying 10.5, total 161. We get this one underway here with Javon.
Yeah, it could only be the Minnesota Lynx for me. I like the better at 14 as opposed to 16. But nevertheless, this should be a complete blowout in this one as far as I'm concerned. You got one of the best teams in the W going up against a team that's in flux, their whole starting lineup moving on, and they're left with Mabry, who was the sixth person coming off the first person coming off the bench, sixth person or the sixth woman, man, whatever, however you want to say it. I don't know how they say it in the W, but anyway, so it can only be Minnesota for me. I'm on the Sparks. Just a situation where these two teams already played. That second half was brutal for the Valkyrie in that one. They kept it close in the first half, but that second half it just got ugly. So since the Sparks are at home, I think they get the job done. I think they get it done in a big way. Plum's gonna have a big game in that one. And I'll take the points with Washington. It's just a situation where, Vegas, they're gonna score a lot of points, but they're not gonna run away and hide. They're gonna let go of a lot of points as well. I just don't trust their defense right now. So it'll have to be the Mystics for me.
From Javon, next up on over to Rod.
Yeah, for me, looking at these ones, I'm going to take the under between the Lynx and the Sun here in the first half. You look at that Sun team, and they're not scoring. Their offense is awful, averaging, 73 points a game. It's because they're shooting 19% from beyond the arc this season, shooting 39% field goal shooting, and then losing the rebound advantage all season long. Minnesota's slow starting team. We've seen it already this season again. Coaches always after them for their slow starts. They definitely know how to whoop teams in that second half, but slow starting are the Lynx. And here at home, especially against the Suns team that is pretty bad. That's why that line is where it is. I'm going to take the under in the first half. I would lay that big giant number. I think the Lynx run away with it in that second half and win by 20 plus. And then looking at the that same Vegas and Washington here in this one, I like the under here. I think it's a lower scoring battle. It's come down a little bit. Both these teams can play some solid defensive basketball, surprisingly. You look at this Mystics team holding teams to 25% field goal shooting from behind the arc, and the Aces, well, they're holding their opponents to 18% field goal shooting from behind the arc. Washington gets themselves in trouble. They're probably going to get out rebounded here in this one. The Aces, hey, they turn the ball over at a high rate as well. They can get themselves in trouble with that turnover. They definitely have the advantage on the free throw line, but field goal shooting, it's been Washington with the better field goal shooting this year. But both teams can play some defense. I think we get a slower paced one, and that totals come down. Give me the under Washington and Vegas. And then looking at the Valkyries, I know they're an expansion squad, but if they don't get themselves in trouble with turnovers, like they have in a few games, they don't turn that ball over. I think they can win some of those rebound battles. They got some big girls there on the Valkyries that can win those rebounding battles, and I think that's just too many points. I'll take the Valkyries there in that one versus the Sparks plus the points.
There we go with Rod. Next up, we move on over to Kevin.
Yeah, I agree with Rod on the Valkyries. You know, they got Janelle Sullivan back now. She was over on she was a foreign playing for Italy, won the MVP and everything else, and she came in, played her first game, 10 points, 4 rebounds, and that's what they need. They need forwards that can score, the Valkyries, and they can put it all together. So I think that's a lot of points. I'll take them because the Sparks, I think, are dealing with a couple injuries as well. I was looking at the Sparks, though. Ezra Stevens, 14.5 points. She's been like one of their better players as of late. I'm going to take that over 14.5 plus 100. I got it at. And then the Suns. I don't think the Minnesota Lynx are going to just go in there and smash them. I think it's going to be one of those games where they get far enough ahead where they start letting people like Collier and those girls sit. I looked at Collier's on numbers, and they're kind of low for this game, so I am actually going to take the under. But I'm going to take Tina Charles of the Suns. I mean, they're going to need her big, her rebounding, over 7.5. I know it's minus 165, but I'd parlay that up with the Carlos Carrera. That's what I actually did. I parlayed that up and got it to plus 295 with Carlos Carrera, the RBI. But I do like the Suns getting all those points. I mean, that's a lot of points, 16 or whatever it's at. And I just don't think Minnesota is there to run it up. I think, like I said, probably around halftime you'll see some of the bench players getting more minutes and some of the starters resting.
All right, from Kevin Thomas there. All right, we got you through our WNBA. Now it's time for our Parlay Peripheral segment where our cappers can give out a parlay, player prop, team prop, game of the future. They make the call here. We get the segment underway here with Javon.
Yeah, so it's going to be Jalen Brunson under 3-pointers set at 2.5. I don't think he gets there. And Pascal Siakam over points set at 18.5.
There we go from Javon. Next up, we move on over to Rod.
And for me, we'll go to the MLB. We're going to take the Blue Jays, the Nationals, and the Mets. Little 3-teamer.
From Rod up next, Kevin.
All the props I already gave out. Carlos Carrera, RBI, plus 155. Tina Charles, over 7.5 rebounds. Mikal Bridges, over 20.5 points plus assists. And then Ezra Stevens, over 14.5 points.
Here we go from Kevin. Tell you what I like here on the 3-teamer. For me, baseball over Dodgers, Mets. I like the Rangers run line and give me the Houston Astros there. All right, we got you through our Parlay Peripheral segment. Now it's time to see what our cappers have for sale over at Pig Dogs Premium. The big weekend here, Memorial Day weekend of action here for Major League Baseball. Second, we are in the conference finals between NBA as well as the NHL, WNBA as well, mixing in in there some games. So let's see what's going on over at Pick Dog Prim. We'll see what Kevin Thomas has got rolling right now over at Pick Dog Prim. Kevin has put together really good numbers here over the past 30 days, 869 units of profit, all documented over at Pick Dog Prim. What you got for sale?
Well, Tony, I love the hardwood tonight, NBA, WNBA, so I bundled all three of them up, and you get a 3-pack. My hardwood gold 3-pack, 1 NBA, 2 WNBA, or you can get them individually. My pristine wager, my top pick of the day, is in the WNBA. And then in baseball, I still have my money grab up for to cash us. That's a huge one. That line was just too good, nice and juicy. I like those big payouts, so you can still get my Friday night money grab in the MLB and the 2-for-1 or the two cappers, 4 cappers, whatever. Partner me up with all these guys over here, and we'll get you paid.
Very good. Get on board with Kevin over at Pick Dog Prim. Multi-cap promotion also available as well. We'll take a look and see what's got rolling over at Pick Dog Prim here with Javon. Javon, what you got for sale?
Yeah, I got 5 plays going up on the board. 5 individually sold, wrapped it up into a 5-pack. 2 NBA, 2 MLB, 1 WNBA. Should be a hitter. Match me with one of the other handicaps for the 2-for-1, 3-for-1, 4-for-1 multi-cap promotional, or go with long-term, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, yearly. Can't go wrong here. Sports Shop plays with Pick Dogs. Let's get it.
Let's get it indeed. Get on board with Javon over at Pick Dogs Premium. Remember the multi-cap promotion. You can match Javon with your favorite capper there over at Pick Dogs Premium. Let's take a look and see what Rod's got for sale over at Pick Dogs Premium. Rod's put together a great past 30 days, 1,469 units of profit, all documented. Rod, what's for sale?
Now for me, over to Pick Dogs Premium tonight, big card. I love today's action. I've got my best bet in the NBA, best bet in the WNBA, best bet in the NHL. Those are all sold individually. My best bet in the MLB is sold in a 3-pack there, and a couple bonus plays in the WNBA for long-term subscribers. Or I got my top 4 plays in each sport in my Fish Fry Friday, where we got Fry the books. You get that nice little 5-pack to kickstart your weekend. Or as Cappers before we said, take advantage of that 2-for-1, 3-for-1, 4-for-1 Capper promotional. Pair us all up on a 3-day pass and join us all together for this weekend, and let us put some cash in your pocket. Have a big weekend. Don't forget pick and check out. Save 15% off over there at Sports Shop Place and Pick. Jump aboard. Let's have a big weekend together.
A big weekend with Rod over at Pick Dog. You see the great results from Rod here for 30 days, so get signed up. All right, I've got a best bet on the board for Major League Baseball, as well as a 3-pack bundling 2 baseball and an NBA. I am sitting having a great year in number 2 in MLB at Pick Dogs for this year. So get on board with me with that best bet, or get that 3-pack or 4 premium plays. Why not go ahead and get 3-day all sports pass? You'll get all my premium plays for 3 days, baseball and NBA there. And of course, use that promo code PICK at checkout, and you'll save that 15% off. All right, guys, we're with you here Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern time here with the drive-thru. So make sure you like, subscribe, set those notifications. We're approaching 250,000 subscribers here on the Pick Dogs YouTube channel. That's a lot of guys hitting that subscribe button, and gals as well. And to do that, you got to have great content, which we do here on the Pick Dogs YouTube channel. Let you know a little bit more about it. Of course, Kevin, you got some content on demand over on the Pick Dogs YouTube.
I do, Tony. As soon as we get off here, I'll be posting it or doing the video and sending it out. You get a pick and a prop every night over at Pick Dogs YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. I know we're near 250,000. If we're pretty close, so make sure to subscribe.
That subscribe button, of course, Rod, pretty much a regular here on the drive-thru.
Yeah, definitely tune in to the drive-thru Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday here on the drive-thru. We'll get you some more winners.
Of course, Javon, we got you here on the drive-thru. We can catch you on the weekends. And of course, you put together that Parlay video series.
Yeah, nothing on the board for the parlay. I have a parlay up tomorrow morning. As for the morning shows, weekend style, I'll be here tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, then back here on the drive-thru on Monday night.
That's right, guys. There you go. Make sure to like, subscribe, set those notifications, be live with us to get those plays in real time. That's going to do it for this edition of the drive-thru. We're back on Tuesday. We take the holiday off here on the drive-thru. So holiday, Memorial Day. Everyone have a great day. There, I'm shaking his head.
I forgot. I zoned out. Friday night.
That's right. That's right. I'll see you Friday night. That's right. Let the Cappers have the time off with their family and of course, to get their barbecues and their outings to get at the beach. It's usually the kick off the summer there on the Memorial Day. So happy Memorial Day. I appreciate everyone who served there as well. So we'll be back here on Tuesday on the drive to all Cappers and enjoy their Memorial Days. And of course, I want all our audience out there to enjoy this as well. And of course, those who served our country, we greatly appreciate that. All right, that's going to do it here for the show. Anybody have anything to add before we close it out?
Brian, I hope you're wearing sunscreen. We don't want to see. We don't want to see that big old head coming back, all Gorbachev with a big red blister or whatever. Come on, get some good sunscreen, Brian.
Good definitely. Don't forget your sunscreen, because I know what it's like for me if I go out in the sun without any sunscreen, and it's instant lobster looking for me. It'll be like it's the red. Doesn't take long. About 15, 20 minutes and a nice hot sun, and I'll be that red of your shirt. No problem at all. It doesn't take long. So, and also take the Elks this weekend. You're getting 6.5 in a preseason game. Silliness there against Calgary. Grab the 6.5 with the Edmonton Elks in that one.
There you go from Rod. All right, that's going to do it for the drive-through. Back here on Tuesday. Have a happy Memorial Day. Everybody out there going to wake up.